Nobody other than Cam Newton has ever been in college and handled the spotlight better than what Caitlin Clark has handled the spotlight. I mean, nobody. Back in the day, Cam Newton got kicked out of the University of Florida by Urban Meyer for stealing laptops. He went to a junior college. After the junior college, it was a bidding war. His dad openly admitted it. There was a bidding war. His dad, according to the media, had put Cam Newton up for sale. Common business now, but back then that was considered egregious, against the rules, damn near a felony. Well, guess what? The media swooped in, and every single time Cam Newton, every time, played a game or did a practice or had to meet the press or anywhere he went, there was a camera in his face asking him about his past, asking him about his father, asking him whether he was bought and paid for by Auburn University, and he handled it better than anybody I've ever seen. I don't care whether it's Michael Jordan handling all his success. I don't care whether it's Magic Johnson. I don't care whether it's Joe Montana or Tom Brady. I've never seen anybody handle success and media pressure like Cam Newton. And then, of course, he won every game and won a national championship. Fast forward to an era now where we have social media breathing down your neck. And not only social media, everybody's a reporter. Everybody whips out the old camera every single time you move. Doesn't matter what you are or who you are. My brother actually said to me back in the day, hey, just pretty much figure you're being filmed all the time. And he was right. At first I thought it was ludicrous, but he's right. And well, Caitlin Clark, and back then to a degree, about this much of what is now this much, Cam Newton had it. Well, Caitlin Clark has never flinched. Caitlin Clark took Iowa, yes, Iowa, to the national championship game 2 years in a row. That's pretty good. Like, she could have gone to UConn. I guess UConn didn't recruit her, but you get the point. South Carolina, somewhere like that, been a part of national champions, but she went to Iowa, blazed her own trail, and took two teams to the national championship game. All the while, particularly this year, ever since last year's national championship game, with all of this and Angel Reese and this and all the stuff, women's college basketball exploded. And Caitlin Clark was at the center of it. And not only the center, the absolute top. And everybody, for whatever the reason, came at her. You ever seen Caitlin Clark mishandle anything? Have you ever heard one single thing negative about Caitlin Clark? One. Ever. No. The only thing you heard is she did this and people got offended and then people didn't like when someone, who cares? That's all silliness. Caitlin Clark has handled everything perfectly, including the NBA draft. The WNBA draft. Should have been the NBA draft for the way it was rated. But anyway, the WNBA draft comes. And it's the first time I've seen Caitlin Clark admit to being nervous, admit to not digging the fanfare. And I don't blame her. Like, at some point, you kind of sort of want to exhale from it all. But think about this. She doesn't have a chance to. She's playing all season long, biggest ratings. Fox is everybody's after her. The season's over. 10 minutes later, she's got the WNBA draft. 10 minutes later, she's in training camp right now here in Indianapolis with the Fever. Honest to God, this is one after another. At some point, this woman needs to take a nap. Just take a nap. But she hasn't missed. She hasn't flinched. She hasn't had a misstep. She hasn't snapped at the media. The media, our guy Greg Doyle, creepy as hell. You know, there's always a combination of the beautiful story of her signing autographs for little kids, little girls in her uniform, little boys in her uniform, and then the creepers out there like Greg Doyle that are trying to make something out of nothing. And then, of course, the letters and the instant messaging and all that other stuff comes in. And I'm sure 90% of it is great, but 10% of it is creeper, Doyle style. But she hasn't missed a beat. She did say this, though, and this is fascinating, and I don't blame her 1 second. She said this. She joked that she couldn't wait for the WNBA draft to end. Couldn't wait. I mean, this has been one after another. Listen to this. I think that's what I was most excited for, getting all that other stuff out of the way. The draft was amazing. New York City was amazing. LA, amazing. But I was excited to get here and get back to playing basketball. Doing my job. She also said, I think no matter what happens, there's going to be expectation, pressure on my shoulder, pressure on this team to be really good. That's how you want it, right? We wouldn't want anything else. We want people showing up at our games, people expecting us to win a lot of basketball games this year, and I'm expecting myself to play really well. I don't think it's anything that's ever been different for me. And that's awesome. Because I saw this quote, or I heard this quote. Nick and I were going at our 5 o'clock call, and I'm like, man, put that number one on our list. Because she hasn't missed a step, but it's got to be exhausting. I got thinking about it. Ever since last year. Now, look, I get it. Summertime, Iowa, season's over. All right. But as soon as this thing started, and I'm going back to maybe November, possibly October, this thing has been insane. And I can only equate it to Cam Newton. I don't know anyone else. Like, I get it. There have been great teams over the years. I get it. Teams with expectations. Kentucky was expected to go undefeated a few years ago. They lost it in the national semifinal to Wisconsin. I get it. That has happened. But can you think of any one player in college or professional basketball? Other than LeBron James, I suppose. LeBron James has those expectations on him. But other than that, there haven't been. And, man, at some point, I hope anyway at some point, she doesn't break it down. She doesn't get tired of it. She doesn't get injured by it. Because when you see her, like the picture that we just showed, there's another photo shoot. Commercials take a long-ass time. I remember Coach Knight did like a Wendy's commercial, and he came back. He goes, my God, that was like 6 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock at night just for these little scenes. And she's done a ton. Hey, nobody's saying nobody's feeling sorry, not even a little bit. Don't get me wrong. She's living an unbelievable life, and good for her. She deserves it. But at some point, I hope she doesn't get injured, body doesn't give out, brain doesn't give out, because, man, this is a lot. So salute. I raised my Dubai cup. My mother went and got it for us. I raised my Dubai coffee mug. It's the biggest honor you can get on Don't At Me if I raise my mug to you, Caitlin Clark, as you start your professional journey right here in Indianapolis. Stay strong for another 3 or 4 months. We want to enjoy you. And then go take a nap. Hell, go to the Caribbean. Don't go to Galveston because Chuck will make fun of you. But you freaking deserve it. You absolutely, positively, 1,000% deserve that and more. The expectations on her in the WNBA? Oh, I don't know. Average 28, lead the league in everything, and your team wins a championship. I don't know. That seems what everybody expects. It's going to be interesting. And frankly, for the first time ever, it's going to be fun. Speaking of fun, there is no better league to follow for complete and utter crap than the NBA. If you want to follow dudes in the offseason being criminals, you go to the NFL and maybe the NBA. If you want to follow just boredom, you watch Major League Baseball. Even the offseason's boring anymore because nobody knows who plays on what team anymore. But if you want to watch just utter stupidity, you got to watch the NBA. It is fantastic. We build these teams. We got to have Bradley Beal. I want Devin Booker. My big three has to be Kevin Durant. He's the man, yo. He's the man. All right? Until he's not the man. Until, they get their ass beat. And yes, I'm talking about the Phoenix Suns. And then the fun begins. The real fun begins. The blame game. Less than 24 hours. I sounded like Dice Clay. Less than 24 hours after being swept, and I mean their ass kicked by the Timberwolves, the Phoenix Suns and the national media are playing the blame game instead of taking accountability for an embarrassing loss. And you know, there ain't no blame on the players. NBA Central Dunk Central. The Suns are considering firing Frank Vogel, per Shams. Sources tell me the Suns will consider a coaching change. I'm told Kevin Durant had real issues with the offense and the way it was ran, him feeling like he was relegated to the corner. Well, you got to keep KD happy. I mean, KD, he'll run off to the best team out there. Wait a second. Nuggets, you need anybody? Timberwolves, you need anybody? You look a little young there. I wouldn't put this version of KD on my team today, tomorrow, and the next day. And if I was Matt Ishbia, I wouldn't pay attention to what the hell he wants. It's time to stand up. Hey, look, man. Look. You're old. You haven't won squat. You're a pain in the ass in press conference. Nice kid, but you act like an idiot in press conference. You're really not helping us sell tickets, so shut the living hell up and live up to your contract. Speaking of Ishbia, Ishbia was all the rage. Oh, my God. He's a billionaire. Former Tom Izzo walk-on. Ishbia has no idea what he's doing when it comes to basketball, a Sun source says. Really? Shocking. Huh. You mean to tell me a guy that was a walk-on and a mortgage lender and a mortgage guy doesn't know how to run a basketball team? Ucha capesta, my eyes are burning. It's like Looney Tunes around here. Feels unstable since Ishbia arrived. He's a good guy and everything, I think, but he's just very involved, too involved. I know he played college basketball at Michigan State. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He was on the team. He was one of those guys, white dudes at the end of the bench that had two jobs. One, get straight A's. Two, run out and meet the team at timeouts. That's it. It ain't even about, I've been to Michigan State's practice. I was there with Ishbia. And no, stop. No, he didn't. He sat there and was one of the, look at every basketball team in college. There's about 3 or 4 white dudes at the end of the bench that run out and greet the team with fives at a timeout. Ishbia was one of those guys. But I venture to say he has no idea when it comes to basketball, yet he's making a lot of big decisions. I'm surprised because a lot of people, well, I figured they'd blame Isaiah Thomas because Isaiah Thomas was sitting with Ishbia at a game. I mean, look, when you lose, you want to blame everybody, or at least the NBA blames everybody, and it's hilarious to me. Has anybody seen, and we're going to read this, here we go, the front office declined to add a point guard to its roster, despite Vogel's preference for one, said a guy named Chris Haynes. I got to talk about Chris Haynes in a minute. Vogel wanted a point guard on that roster, and the front office believed that bringing a point guard over would take the ball out of the hands of Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, and Kevin Durant. Yeah, maybe the ball needed to be out of the hands of Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, and Kevin Durant. See, if Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, and Kevin Durant bring the ball down the court, 9 out of 10 times they're passing the ball. So that takes the ball out of their hands as a point guard. Now, that's making it all too simplistic. Outlet pass, Devin Booker? Devin Booker, if he can get to the rim, great. But outlet pass to Devin Booker, you got to go create for yourself or someone else. Bradley Beal, that ain't happening. Vogel wasn't wrong. But hey, Vogel's only the coach. And as we know now, it's star player, mediocre overpaid player, a.k.a. Devin Booker and Bradley Beal, owner, GM, assistant GM, player personnel, DEI hire, and then the coach that make the decisions on bad basketball franchises. That's the order. And if you don't believe me, you just don't know. You don't know. And I'm sorry, but you should know. That is the order. So if Kevin Durant went in and said, look, I don't want a point guard, guess what? There ain't going to be no point guard on a poorly run team like the Suns. Now, the teams that are run well, the teams that say, look, you're a player, we're the GM, we're going to get this figured out. See, I always gave the Pacers credit because Mel Simon is an owner. Herb Simon, brothers, they're the owners. They don't know nothing. They build malls. They've made bazillions in malls, movies, that kind of stuff. But they always kept a guy named Donnie Walsh around. Donnie Walsh is like 50, 70 years in the NBA. He never won nothing. Everybody loves him. But he's like, and has been for a long, long time, a guru, a mentor, a basketball guy. And they keep Bird around. Guru, mentor, basketball guy. There isn't a franchise, as one of my Knicks said, I can't remember which one, that is ever successful with the owner deeply involved. Think Dallas Cowboys. I mean, I'm not saying they can't win a few games and make the playoffs. The Phoenix Suns just did. But think about this. Owner, uber involved. See, my beloved Colts here have the daughters of the owners with headsets on and pads writing stuff down. In-game from the sideline. That's bad business. Coaches coach, players play, owners own, GMs do all that other stuff, roster build. But you don't hear anything about the players, do you? You don't hear a damn thing about the players. You're never going to hear it from a guy like Chris Haynes, whose ass is so far up, or head is so far up the ass of players. Chris Haynes is the little sideline reporter for TNT, and last night was one of the funniest things ever. When Chris Haynes was giving a sideline report during the Heat-Celtics game, he was talking about how Bam Adebayo had a team meeting, and he was going to have this team ready. And others spoke up. Ooh, guys that didn't usually speak up, like Kevin Love, spoke up. And this team was going to be ready. Well, in the middle of this guy, whoever Chris Haynes is, little sideline conversation, the Celtics, against Bam Adebayo's team, went on a 13-3 run. And that run never stopped until the game was over. It was really funny. That is perfect NBA media. You got to understand NBA media. The white dudes in the NBA media are scared to death to be called racist. So they can't criticize any player, anyone, anytime that isn't white. They'll criticize a coach. They'll get after an owner, but they ain't criticizing the players, particularly the African-American players. And the black media, as they call themselves, man, they want to be down the party. They want to be part of the scene. They want to dap up the players because that's cool. They want to go see Common or go see Drake after the game. That's the way the NBA media is. I've been told this by both black and white NBA media guys, both of whom are disgusted by it. But anyway, it ain't never coming on the players, ever. In the history of ever, you ain't never seen, Kevin Durant's old and he sucks as a teammate now. Devin Booker's got a big mouth. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. And Bradley Beal, listen to this. He says he's never going to get swept. Let's hear from BB. BB, man. Yo, BB.
I've never been swept a day in my life, so I'll be damned if that happens.
Well, you're damned. I'll be damned if that happens. Well, you're damned. I mean, you broke down and destroyed the Wizards, and now you're swept. So you're damned. These dudes just talk. They're 27-year-old or 28-year-old or 25-year-old or 30-year-old billionaires that don't know their ass from third base. They'll go home to their boys. Their boys will tell you how great they are. And by the end of the day, everybody will forget about it, and they'll be back to being heroes. Now, this I like. We got protests going across the country. We got anti-Israel. And don't tell me this has nothing. Well, maybe that's something to do, but this is anti-American. That's all this is. You can say whatever you want, but this is anti-American. And I applaud the president of Indiana University for arresting 50 protesters, bringing the state troopers out and putting a sniper on the damn roof. I applaud anything you got to do to get these jackasses off of campuses. I do. I know the faculty at Indiana University is calling for the removal of the president. I don't give a rat's ass one way or the other. But I do know this. Get them the hell off, because this is anti-American. And we're not having anti-American stuff. I mean, you want to peacefully protest, great, but not anti-American stuff. It's not so peaceful at Columbia University. They're breaking windows. They're buying their own stuff, buying into their own stuff. They're taking over buildings. No, we can't have that. In the name of Hamas, are you kidding me? What, are you out of your freaking mind? What, are you stupid? Well, one university, and shockingly enough, it's in California, UCLA, has had enough. They have had enough. UCLA has decided, well, we're going to show you right here.
Wake up, commies! Wake up! Wake up!
Wake up, commies. That's all it is. I mean, you can make out whatever you want, but that's all it is. Here's another one. Wait, no, that was the wake up, commies one. They also at UCLA are putting big old video TVs, big TVs, massive TVs, and they're playing on a roll. They're playing scenes from the viciousness of October 7th. When Hamas went all across Israel and slaughtered innocent people, cut their heads off, raped, robbed, brutalized them. They're playing it on a roll to show these dumbasses exactly what they are protesting for. That's what they're protesting for. You know, Harvard, which I enjoyed, I know some people got mad at this show and said, hey, we're not watching because I was pro-Harvard. I can only go by my experience. But Harvard has been weak enough to allow a Palestine flag flown over John Harvard, and where they flew it is right in the middle of the courtyard. Other universities are allowing these encampments, but, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, there is hope out there. There is hope. Down with hope, up with dope. There is hope. And that hope comes, guess where? The University of Florida. The University of Florida is not having it. No. No. They are not having it. They are saying, nay, Nanook. They're warning students that they will face banishment. Florida State turned the sprinklers on them. These guys have faced banishment. I like it. They said if you protest, you could face banishment for up to 3 years. How about that? 3 years. You go. I like it. No, I don't kind of like it. I love it. And the University of Florida put out a statement that said, you know what? Hey, man, we ain't a babysitting service here. We are not a babysitting service. We will not allow this. Get your ass off. Georgia did the same thing. Florida State turned the sprinklers on them. Hey, I ain't mad at none of it. I'm not even a little bit mad of it. Not even sort of. And the interesting thing about these pro-Palestinian idiots is that they always wear masks. Why are you wearing masks? I don't know the answer to that other than to say you don't want people to know who you are while you protest stupidity. At the University of Texas at Austin, all these little kids are screaming, trying to play the victim. There's a video of somebody clearly not being choked. They're choking me. They're choking me. Glass has been broke at Columbia's main building. It's been occupied. Oh, my God, they're choking me. I just don't have any respect for it. I wish I did. I do. I wish I did, but I don't. I don't. I'm just saying to you, and I'll say to everybody else, suck it. I hope y'all get arrested. I hope y'all get thrown in jail. I ain't mad even at a little police brutality. If somebody drops, they dropped you. What are you going to do? Yeah, I don't know. We dropped you. What, we dropped you on your head? Columbia's had to lock down the campus. You got to understand something. Peaceful protest is one thing. But when you know it is not going to be peaceful, then you got a problem. Virginia Commonwealth, riots are occurring. And this isn't over Gaza. This is Virginia Commonwealth just being jackass. Jewish students were blocked from entering campus at UCLA. You imagine if an African-American student was blocked from entering campus at UCLA? Oh, my God. Joe Biden would take a knee. He would. Nancy Pelosi would wear African dress. She would. Our guy Chris Ballard would cry and say, I don't know about white people. White people. Stella. White people. That's what you would see. That's what you would see. I mean, look, It's time to just bring these people to justice. They don't believe in free speech because if you speak against them, like this lady here, wouldn't you love, hey, honey, I'm home. Hey, honey, I'm home to that screaming lunatic. She's screaming at somebody that disagrees with her. So they don't believe in free speech. They believe in their own stupid. And lastly, I don't believe any of these people have any idea what they're actually protesting. I don't believe any of them know their ass from third base. But again, I'm not one of those that thinks 18 to 23-year-olds should have their ass kissed. I think 18 to 23-year-olds should have their ass kicked. And then they become adult males with penises or women, real women, with vajayjays. That's what I think. But hey, the hell do I know? When Brittney Griner speaks, stupid comes out. Yeah, it's like stupid. It's like, hey, turn this key and listen to stupid. She's really dumb. Like when I heard her when she got away with putting weed in her bag and they transported Dr. Death for her because she's a lesbian black woman that can make a basket. Oh, by the way, did you know she dunked? But every time she speaks, it's just stupid. I'm sorry. She says blames leaving cannabis in her luggage before her arrest on a mental lapse. Really? No kid. No. So she has a mental lapse, and Joe Biden, because she's a black lesbian, moves heaven and earth to grant her release from custody. Meanwhile, Paul Whelan, who's a hero, remains in custody. Now, I thought it was ridiculous that Griner was in there, but I just can't listen to her. She's too stupid. I'm sorry. I know we're not supposed to say that, particularly about a black lesbian woman with an Adam's apple, but she's just too stupid. I would say, have you ever forgot your keys in your car? Left your car running? Have you ever asked, where's my glasses when they're on top of your head? Where's my phone? Oh, it's in my pocket. It's just so easy to have a mental lapse. Granted, my mental lapse was more on a grand scale, but it doesn't take away from how that could happen. I agree. You're stupid. I mean, yeah, we've all done those things, but I've never left my weed in a bag going to the airport. Now, she's not wrong. People do this kind of stupidity all the time, allegedly. Now, this is allegedly because I've seen shows. I've seen Homeland. I've seen House of Cards. I've seen how our government works, ladies and gentlemen. Allegedly, some guy left his grenade in his backpack as he went through the Indy airport the other day. Yeah, you buying that? I ain't buying that. Something more was going on. Lee was at the airport, and she's like, yeah, we can't go through Terminal B or Concourse B. What's the problem? Somebody found a grenade in a backpack. Look, I can understand Brittney Griner leaving her weed in her backpack because she's stupid. No, I mean, I'm sorry. She just is. I mean, you can say whatever you'd like, but she's just stupid. And I have no sympathy for her. And she's not wrong. I've been talking on my phone asking where my phone is. My car keys, my wallet, and my zipper. Never forget the zipper. I once gave a speech in front of a few thousand people with my zipper down, and my wife's like, great speech, dummy, your zipper was down. I go, why are you looking? You want a little something nice, lady? But anyway, yeah, I get what she's saying, but I'm in Russia. And I'm leaving my weed at home. I'll tell you a weed story. Portland, Oregon. Portland, Oregon, I'm there to do games. Lee and I go out, and we got a day off. I'm like, hey, let's go to the dispensary. Never seen a dispensary. I've never smoked weed. I've never done gummies. I've never done any of it. But let's go. We go. We get a bag of cookies. I don't know, bigger bag, but it would look like legitimate cookies. It wasn't like in a Ziploc bag. It had a barcode, the whole thing. Next night, I take a little bit of one. She takes a little bit of one. She's asleep. That's it. She's just out. I take one, and I'm waiting. Nothing. Come on. Give me something good. The pharmacist, who looked like Bob Marley, was a absolute doctor of cannabis. He knew what made you relax, what made you sleepy, what made pain go away, and I'm here for all of it. We got the good stuff. So I'm sitting there. Nothing. Nothing. And they tell you, don't keep eating them or you get sick. So I'm like scared, right? Okay, I go to bed, I go to sleep. Next day, Lee's flying home. Next day, I got some games and I'm flying home later. So I got morning games, she's gone. Okay. And I got these cookies. What do you do with it? I'm like, yeah, I ain't flying with these cookies. I know it's legal here, but I ain't going to worry for 4 hours that I'm going to be handcuffed by guys in blue jackets with yellow lettering saying DEA, so I threw them in the garbage. A lot of people thought I was stupid. Had a big discussion. McAfee, Billis, I was at ESPN the next week, and we were talking about it. Billis is like, yeah, what are you doing? Don't ever. I go, right. McAfee's like, hell yeah, fly with him. Couldn't do it. Yeah, if I'm in Russia and what I'm doing is illegal, I'm tossing them, but not if I was stupid. And Brittney Griner is stupid. Have I said that enough? I think I have. Mike Tyson. Damn. Now, I gave this stuff up because, well, nobody wanted to do it with me. But Mike Tyson, for his upcoming fight against Jake Paul, he's given up weed and sex. The weed part, I never did. I just told you the story. The sex part, nobody would have it with me. I mean, shocking, I know. But anyway, he's not smoking or having sex for more than 2 weeks. Oh, my God, the sacrifices Tyson makes. Honest to goodness, the sacrifices this poor man makes. I'm living my life disciplined. It's been 6 weeks that I haven't gotten high or had sex. I haven't done that since I was a little kid. I hate not being able to smoke, but I'm doing it like I love it. I hate not being able to sleep with my wife, but I'm doing it like I love it. All right, MT. That's bad news for Jake Paul. See, if you're Jake Paul and you're a social media influencer, you're hoping against hope that Mike Tyson doesn't take this fight serious. You're hoping Mike comes in fat, overconfident, and sassy. It's the only shot you got. If Mike Tyson comes in disciplined, good legs, no sex, good lungs, no weed, man, you got a problem. Because I don't give a damn if Mike Tyson is 30, 40, 20, or 80. That's a bad man. No, that's a real bad man. That's a man that'll kill you. And you just hope that something doesn't snap inside Mike Tyson. Because if something snaps inside Mike Tyson and he starts reverting back to the day, you could be dead. Tubby Smith, the national champion, Kentucky coach, told me a story about being in a boxing exhibition with gloves against Muhammad Ali. And he's in the ring, they ring the bell, and he's like, crap. I hope something doesn't trigger inside Muhammad Ali. And he starts going all Muhammad Ali on me. Dancing, jabbing, you know what I'm saying. Nobody needs that action. And ever since Tubby told me that, I thought, wait a second, you better be careful against these guys. It's not like having a shooting contest against Larry Bird and he gets PTSD and starts rifling in threes. This gets you killed. And a disciplined Mike Tyson, he'll get you killed. Hey, the crazies on the left want to ban your stove. Remember, they want to ban wood-burning pizza. They basically want to ban anything that you like. I'll tell you what I like. When I moved into this house and we had leaves, a good friend of mine, the great Cam Safali, said, you got to get a leaf blower. All right. He goes, You got to get the high-powered backpack leaf blower. You strap that bad boy on your back and you go around, and I'm telling you, it's addicting. I got it. He was right. You give me a backpack leaf blower and a full tank of gas, and we'll see you on Tuesday because I'm having a day. Well, guess what? The extreme left, they're not done. They're not done. They don't want you to own a gas-powered leaf blower. They don't. They're like, hey, we don't need it. We don't want it. No. It stirs up feces from animals. It stirs up nasty stuff. You know what? Stop. The far left says the noise isn't merely a nuisance. According to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, prolonged exposure to noise longer than 70 decibels may damage your hearing. Oh, shut up. Gas-powered leaf blowers can register as much as 100 decibels at the source. The levels decrease with distance. Shut up. Just shut up. Gas-powered leaf blowers also expel fumes and pollutants, like carbon monoxide. Both gas and electric blowers stir up particle matter dust, mold, pollen, and pathogen contaminating bird and animal feces into the air that we insects and wildlife breathe. Folks with respiratory issues or allergies may be especially sensitive. I got 2 words for you: tough shit. I need my leaf blower. I'm not putting anybody in danger. No. I mean, look, I'm sorry. Hey, look, if you want to, if you want to, all right, if you want to, just ban nothing. Just ban nothing. If you want to, stick these bans up your ass. Stick these bans where the sun don't shine. Stick these bans and let's start banning fentanyl. If you want to. If you want to, let's start banning illegal immigrants from coming across the border. I'll take you serious if you start banning that. How about we ban prosecutors backed by George Soros? How about we start enforcing the actual laws that we have? How about we do that? I mean, I'm not mad at you, but how about we do that? See, I cannot take a single government agency seriously. I can't until we start actually forcing the laws that we have. How about we do that? As opposed to start making up laws where you can't eat wood-burning pizza, or I can't have my leaf blower, or my stove is going to cost, who the hell knows, many lives, many, many lives. Once our government agencies start doing things like, enforcing the current laws, I'll start paying attention to y'all as you're trying to enact other rules, regulations, and laws. Other than that, I got 2 words for you: my ass.